Well, what's going on, guys? So I just made a video recently where I showed that I've earned over 250 million in about 7 months of playing, and I did clear out all my orders. So I thought it'd be a good time to do this in a different format and try to flip capes as if I was just doing it for the first time, because I kind of am at this point because I deleted out all my buy orders from everything. So it's almost like if I'm doing this from scratch, the process that I would use. And on my other computer, I also have the market order calculator, which I posted on August 7th. And I'll link it in the description. I also linked it in that video description if you guys want to check it out. And I have it up on my other computer. You could also just minimize your window here and pull it up. But for me, it's easier just to have it on a separate. You could have it on your phone. You could have it on your computer. And it's just a separate Google Sheets file. So I'm going to go through as I normally do. I'll go through, I guess I'll go through each of these and just show you my process and which ones I would look at flipping and which ones I would not, just based on the prices. Now this is going to change because obviously the market changes every day, but this is going to be my process for today, September 3rd. All right, so Novice Cape, no margin there, 104 versus 102. Same thing. Not making any money here. Adepts Cape, same thing. The margin is like maybe like 1%. And this is just by me eyeballing it. This one here looks pretty decent. Selling it for $228.77 and $18.26. That gives me a margin of 47.54. So I always try to do ones that are over like 20% or if something's going to get me at least 100,000 a day. So like if I were to sell 100 of these, I'll probably make it around 900 to 1,000 of profit each one. And even better, like these things sell normally around this price. So they never drop below 1,800. So if I put in a buy order for 100, and there might be good competition here, maybe I'll get like 50 of these. I'm not investing much anyway, it's only around 200,000. So I'm going to put in 100 here. And if they get all filled, great. That's that'll be another 100,000 or so in profit. But I'm probably going to get outbid before that. But it's only setup fee of 4,600, so nothing too crazy. All right, so Adepts Cape. I looked at this Adepts Cape, and this one's okay. I'm only getting 400 to 500 profit on it. But if you have low amount of silver, this could be a one. You're still getting 50% margin, and you could sell a decent amount. But there's so much competition. I know I'm going to get outbid because I've done this one before. But if you play a lot, you could continue updating your orders. It won't cost you much of a setup fee because it's so cheap, and go ahead and try it. Personally, I will not. I'm trying to hit that 100,000 target for each item, because then I have like, if I do every item, I'll have like 1,000 orders total between all these different items that I have to edit every day or twice a day, which is tedious. Now this one's good. This one's definitely good. Putting in the prices, 69.82% margin. And usually when you have like significant margins like this, it could be like a trip, like someone might have dumped items and the prices dropped, or there's just a huge buy wave and the prices shut up. But in this case, like the average 4-week price is around like 12, 30, even like the lowest it dropped was 10,000. So if I buy this for 8,000 and I'll sell it for whatever 14,000, I'll still be making 4 or 5,000. The total profit on my calculator here is showing 5,683. So I'm still making 5,000 to 6,000 per, and I'll probably be able to do like 10 to 20 per day. So I'm gonna put in, let's say 30 worst case, because it's still cheap, and I'll put a buy order for this. And even if I sell 10, 15 of those, that's still 50 to 75,000 of profit. Okay. Now this one, you think it's really good because it's 55,000 versus 35,000. 47% margin approximately. But the quantity sold is not, you might get one, and I don't really feel it's worth doing this, because I'll only get like, if I even buy and sell one, which would take a while, it would probably take like, I could make like 10, 20,000, but it's very rare I'll do that in a day. As we get to the higher enchantments, no one's really going to buy this, and logically, like if you're going to use tier 4, there's no way you're going to be spending, like if you're a PvPer, a few $100,000 on that. So like, not great for crafters because no one buys this, not great for flippers. So I would avoid these enchantment 3, enchantment 4, the epic, and the pristine Adept's Cape here. And this probably holds true for all of these capes, but I'll just go through a few just to show you guys. This one, not really worth it. This is around the price of around 4,000. Expert Cape. So normal price is around 10,000. Right now it looks like it's pretty good because it's the price, you'll get like a few thousand per, but it's probably going to drop down to 9,000 again, which is why I will not do this. This one I probably get like a few per day. Margin's okay. 30% margin, but again, I'll probably only sell like a few per day, which might be like 20, 30,000. You could do it if you want, but for me, I am going to avoid this one. And while we're talking, I got one Adept's Cape for 1827, and that's 1,000 profit right there. So I bought it for 1872, sold it for 27.59. That's around 900 profit. All right, so back to the tier 5 capes. And again, like maybe I'll get 20,000 if I sell that expert cape for the epic one. Pristine, nope. Master's Cape, profit margin not great on this. And as you see, as we get further up, there's a bit more competition because you can see the sell order and buy order price are very close together. This, I mean, even if I got lucky and sold one, it would only be 50, 60,000, and that would take a few days, so not worth it. This never really gets sold, so I'm not going to put my money into that. Another one with pretty thin margin and not too much demand. 16% margin. So far, not much luck here. Same thing as the other ones. No demand really, so. This one might possibly be a good one for me if the demand was a little bit more, because you're still getting 30% margin and you'll be getting like 150,000 profit. If this was like maybe quantity sold like 10 per day, maybe I'll have a chance to get one, but nope, not gonna do this because the quantity sold is like less than one per day. All right, so that's just the regular capes. So you have all the main ones, and they don't really give you any perks. It's more so just giving you max energy, max regeneration. So these are just like usually like the low tier, like cheap capes people just use for mana regen. So not usually much high in demand. Now the ones that are higher in demand obviously are the ones that are city focused because they give perks. So this one gives Sandstorm, for example, and this is the Bridgewatch Cape. Still margins. Now these are much more expensive, even though they're tier 4. This one has good margin, except I probably only buy and sell one of them. This one, let's see, 676% margin, so that's pretty significant. However, I probably only buy. You know what? This one might be a good one to take a chance on, just because you're only spending 12,000 and you have a chance to make in a few days maybe you could make 80,000. So it's worth, and probably not much competition. I'll throw a buy order on there. It's not going to cost me much. And no demand on this one. This one, I probably buy or sell one, but the margin's so good too. So I'm going to throw in 2 here, just in case. Maybe there's the day I get lucky and I get 2 of them, and that'll be 100,000 so of profit. And the margin is obviously double what you put into it, like 85-90% margin. Much higher than the 20% threshold we're looking at. This one, less demand, not going to do it. Same thing with this one, and obviously the pristine no one wants. No margin, no margin. Good margin, for sure. $130%, which is pretty significant. Maybe I'll get lucky. Nah, I don't think so. Every few days, maybe I'll get 1. I'm going to avoid that one. Same thing, same concept. Avoiding, and again, no demand. As we get further up the tiers, you'll see the demand for all these drops significantly. So I generally avoid tier 7 capes. Tier 6, tier 7, tier 8. I mean, especially Bridgewatch, because no one really uses Sandstorm. Thetford Capes are pretty useful. I believe Fort Sterling is the good one here, where it gives you the untouchable. Activates when you get stunned, silenced, or rooted, which is great for avoiding gankers. Which is why you'll see the everyone knows and uses them a lot, so there's more competition and more demand for these. So the margin's not great, but the you can see there's much more demand buying and selling of these. Even the higher enchanted ones people use. However, these are not really great for flipping. Decent margin, not really good quantity, and no matter what the cape is, really, you won't see much again in the epic or pristine enchantments. No good margin on any of these. This one I might get lucky if I get 1. And I'm just showing you guys each one by one just to show you. Even though personally I would not go for the higher enchanted ones. This one, the average price is around 400,000. I'm gonna throw 1 into here because even if I get 1 in 2 days, I could still sell it for 200,000 plus profit. So I will drop a buy order in there. Now, if you only have like a few million silver, I wouldn't recommend doing that because that's a good chunk of your silver that you're going to be leaving in there for a chance, like a lottery ticket, for a chance to get it. Maybe if you only play every few days, then it's worth it. You could leave it in there. Maybe you won't. Hopefully, you won't get outbid. Maybe you'll get lucky. But if you flip like every day or every few days consistently, I would avoid leaving your silver in that and put it in something else. So nothing really on these Forge Sterling. Lymhurst. This one could be good. %60 margin, which is very good. And I'll be getting around 20,000 per. I could easily drop, 6 on that. And maybe in a day I'll get a few of those, and that'll instantly be 60 to 80,000 profit. So that is a good one. And same concept with this one, except that the demand isn't as high for the uncommon, but I'll still take a chance just in case. This one is, again, another similar concept, except the margin is 30% instead of instead of the high like 70%. So I'm trying to think if I could sell like 5 of these a day to get that 100,000. I'm investing more, but I have enough to do it. So it's 30%, still decent margin. This one, it's very low margin. This one is like kind of a trick here because the average price is really around 80,000 to 90,000. So this is going to drop down once people who are crafting this see that, and this is going to drop the price down, which means you won't, even if you get a buy order on this, probably won't be able to sell it. Average price here is like 146. Probably won't get a couple of those in a day. No margin. Okay margin, but not good demand, and then likely the same for these. Alright, so as we get to the later tiers of these, you can see the demand is basically nothing. Hey, Martlock, our home city. Around 50,000, 60,000. Normal price. 37% margin on that. Maybe I'll be making 19. I should be able to get at least 7 a day, which would be over that 100,000 profit mark. I'll probably get outbid, but I'll take a chance on that. Not enough margin. Same thing. Expert, not enough demand. People just want cheap capes. They just want the bonus and that's it. They don't really care about, because all it really gives you, it doesn't give you much more of the spell. It just gives you more energy, which is why most people don't. They opt for like the lower tier cape. All right, Thetford. Low margin. Good margin. This one's good. 40% margin and good volume. I could probably sell 5 to 6 of these a day. And I'll put in 10 because the margin is around 40%. So if I get lucky, I'll get 200,000 profit on that. Okay. Margin's not good enough, and you can see they're shot up, but it's not the real price. Quantity's not good enough for me. Good margin. If I even sell 2 of these, you know, the margin is so good. I mean, even if I don't sell 2 of them, let's see, 70%. I mean, on high quantity, so, or high profit. So if I get lucky, you get 1 of them. That's still around 60, 70,000 in one day for 1 item, where for not much investment. Not much volume, not great margin. Alright, so I'm going to skip these here because it's the same concept. The demand is not great. And we're about halfway through here. But the concept is still the same. Wow, okay, this one's crazy. What is the bonus on this one anyway? Exploit a small window for setting the cooldown of your weapon's first slot ability. That's interesting. Okay, and it's cool you could learn about the different specs too when you're flipping, as to why people want these. So I might only get a few of these days, but again, the investment is so, and the margin's so good. 560% margin. Let's put in, I don't know, 20 of these. For off chance that someone crafts these and just unloads uncommons to me, and I could sell them over time. Another one. We only could sell a few a day. Still, I mean, Alright, so we're on Epic Caerleon, and I got some Adept's Cape here. I'll sell these, and I already got outbid by 1. So if you see someone do like 1, I mean, I wouldn't waste an edit to do that unless someone puts like a large quantity, and they outbid you, then you won't get your orders filled likely. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, let's go back to Caerleon. All right. Maybe I'll get one of these. Can't hurt. Throw it in. And no demand. Good margin, no quantity. And bad margin. Good margin. Maybe I'll sell one of these. I'll put one in there. I'll put 2. On the off chance I get 2 of these, that's instant 180,000 profit. But if I sell one, around 90,000. And then no demand on these. Same thing. Good margin, but demand's not there. All right, Brecilien. Good margin. 80, around 126%. Average price is probably going to drop to 60. Even if it does, you're still looking at over 100% margin. It might only sell 1 or 2, but again, it's not that big of a deal to put down 136% or 136,000 to get a chance for 100% margin on that investment. Not much demand. So not many people like these Brecilien Capes. The bonus applies a shield that absorbs damage, which apparently not usable for many people or viable for most people for their builds. Some people seem to use them, but looks like there's other alternatives. This one, maybe I'll sell 1 or 2, maybe 1 a day. I'll avoid that. And avoiding the tier 7, tier 8 Avalonian Cape. As you can see, this is very tedious. Normally, once I put my orders in, I'll have an idea of which ones I have, and all I need to do is edit it. I don't need to go through all these again because I already have a decent amount of items that I could just edit the orders for. This one's pretty decent. I mean, 100,000 on one item, even if I get 1 per day. For some reason, the demand on the master is more than the expert. I have no idea why. Maybe you guys do, but this one actually has some demand. I mean, let's see what the margin is. 630 divided by 478. 23% margin. Even if I get one of these, it's still 100,000 profit. So I'm going to 115,000 profit if I just do one of those. All right, Heretic. Ooh, good margin on this one. Maybe I'll sell a few a day, but still worth it. Maybe I'll get maybe 2 a day, still worth it. Even if I don't hit that 100,000 profit threshold for the item, I mean, there's still, it's not a big deal putting in small amount of money for a big, or a chance at a big profit. Even if the chance is relatively smaller. Really good margin, no demand. I'll put one of those in. Chance at 100,000 profit. Demand's just not great. This one decent demand. I'll probably get 100,000. I'll throw one of them in there. This is borderline. Yeah. This one, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna sell to me. I'll put 100 or 1, and then I'll do 10. It's cheap, and then I'll do 1-on-1, just in case I get lucky. Someone kills someone, and they happen to have a tier 8. This is a very low chance, but I'm only investing 1,000 silver, even less I could do. But if they randomly kill someone, or if they're not paying attention and they feel that's an instant 500,000. So investing 1,000 for like a 0.01% chance to get 500,000, I'll take it. Another one like this, low chance but high profit. Like, even if you get stuck with this, you're not investing much silver. This one's decent. I could probably sell a few of these. Let's see. 40% margin. Throw 6 in this. And I throw in what I think like I could possibly get filled in order. Kind of just trial and error. This one I would do it, but the price is probably going to drop down to 250, not 300,000. Decent. Probably only sell 1 or 2 of those a day. Demand's not great enough, good margin, but no one really wants these demon capes apparently. But apparently the expert one they do. What's the margin? 69, 45, 40% margin. So maybe I'll be making around 20,000 per. So that'll be 120,000 profit if all these get filled. Good margin, maybe I'll get lucky and get a couple. Okay, so we made it to the end here of all just looking at capes. So we have what? So out of those we found 30 items that were decently... Satisfied? We sold some capes in the meantime. So we made 3, 4, I think we made 5,000 or 6,000 in the last how long this video has been since I've been checking all the capes. Now the thing is that where it gets really into things, where it doesn't just stop there of just looking at all these capes. It's a lot of items to begin with, but when you get into like quality, this is where things get a little crazy. So if we're looking at tier 4 capes, and let's say 0 enchantment, you'll see the prices change when I change the quality. And this is where you could probably get more significant amount of profit, because there's less people looking at the individual enchantments. And over here you'll see my bid, but this one's for outstanding. If I look at which one is mine for, actually. I forgot. Adept's Cape for so long ago. So for uncommon, I was doing normal, and I was outbid by 1. because I was bid by one. But you'll see all these. This shows everything from outstanding through all the qualities, which is why you'll see them outbid, but not really. It's kind of confusing. So you got to get used to looking at the different qualities and things like that. So if I look at like enchantment 1 excellent, this one's pretty good. %50 margin, and you probably sell 20, 30, if not more of these a day, maybe even 50 if you're lucky, if you're changing orders like a few times a day. So I'm gonna throw in, let's say 50 here, and if those all get sold, that's about 100,000 of profit for only 189,000 investment, which is pretty nice. Now if we go up the ranks here, let's say tier 5, I'm just throwing this in. This is another ridiculous margin. This is excellent. 15,744. 90% margin, which is ridiculous. And you could probably buy or sell like 10 of these, which would give you 80 to 100,000 for only 80,000 investment. So this is pretty significant. I'd definitely do this one. Now, you could, there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different qualities times, 4 different enchantments. Really, we'll look at just 3 enchantments. So there's 15 per type of cape, which is 15 times, all these different ones from Fort Sterling, Lymhurst, Martlock, and then you have the different tiers as well. So there's hundreds of different things you could do between the qualities and enchantments and different types of capes. And if I'll just throw another, let's do tier 5, I don't know, Bridgewatch Cape. The volume is not, actually let's look at, it's mostly, let's just look at excellent tier 6 of, I don't know, let's say Thetford, just doing something random. We'll do tier 5. Let's say tier 4. Or the Fort Sterling Cape actually is more in demand, right? So we go to excellent, go to outstanding, and you can see everything is different. Like some of these won't be worth it, but some of them might be, and they might be like a diamond in the rough in a way. If I go to enchantment 1, and a lot of this is just like trial and error, just going down the list and seeing what's worth it for you. And normally what I found is there's usually less competition, so your buy orders stay longer for these random ones that you go when you go in depth into the enchantments and quality. Like for example, this one, what is the margin here? The margin is 26%, which is decent, and the quantity sold you could probably get like 10. And I'll probably, and generally with these, as I mentioned, these are generally low competition because not many people are, most people are just going through like I did before, going through buy order and the normal ones. But when you go more in depth into the quality and the enchantments, you could find ones that are good buys for you. So I'm not going to go through all 1,000+ combinations of these, but in our, however long this has been, I forgot to look at the clock, but we found 33 that were pretty decent to sell. We also sold some Adept's Cape already. We got outbid by one person, but I'm not going to edit the order. Same thing. And normally I'll do this for all items, and then I'll check my orders usually in the morning and then at night, like twice a day, edit them, and then see what I get overnight, sell them, and that's usually my process. So if you guys have any tips of your own, feel free to let me know in the comments below, but this is just my process of how I flip, and I'll probably put in timestamps in the description of, I guess, by how I went through it, by tier, or by, I guess, kind of capes. So just capes, then Bridgewatch Capes, then Fort Sterling, and then maybe you guys could see it that way. But it's the same process across the board, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to like and subscribe. This has been a rapidly growing channel, so thank you for all the support. Thanks for watching.